Welcome, everyone, for this special weekend of Eastern Federation guests. Woo, yeah. And I would like to introduce my co-host for this Friday, September 27th, 2004 episode. Jag, how are you doing today?
I am doing great, but you know what? I'm doing even better knowing that Marcia is okay.
Yeah.
Marcia, how are you?
I am doing great. Yes, I am in Florida, and we almost got scrubbed off the planet, but we are here. I have power, and I want to give my prayers out to all those who have been affected and will be affected by Helene. Yes, we've been very fortunate here, and I am grateful to be here on our Eastern Federation weekend of the Ark. And I guess we're ready to welcome our special guest.
Yes, Marsha, you're going to try.
All right.
We're giving you the hard one.
Drum roll.
Cross your fingers, y'all. Luka Jovanovic Dzivdzanovski.
Very, very close, Marsha. Very, very close.
Well, welcome.
You got the points for trying, at least, you know.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I need all the points I can get and chocolate, but yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for having me. It's a really, really great pleasure to be here.
Well, we're glad that you we're glad that you made it. It's one of those days already, but you know, hey.
Great. I like to be in uncomfortable situations.
Oh yeah, it's just so exciting. Well, here we go. Arc 54 has the first welcome from the audience. Welcome from the Arcaholics. We are thrilled you're here. Can you share a little bit about your family band and how it came to be? Also, anything new in the works? Nice guitar riffs, by the way.
Thank you so much for those nice guitar riffs, by the way. We worked really hard on those ones. So basically, if I'm going to talk about the Hatmires, I have to talk from the perspective of an actor, because I started playing guitar a lot way back, but when I finished my academy, because I didn't have too much time playing the instruments while I was at the academy, because you know all the works and all the tasks you have to do, I started a band called the Hatmires, in which my brother Matej Jovanovic plays, and he's a professional pianist, and my very good friend Alexander Hadji Christos, and do not try to say his name, is playing a bass guitar. So actually we're a trio with like drums going from sometimes they play live, but sometimes they're from the beat. And I imagined it as a theater rock experience, but still haven't delivered it anywhere live. We just recorded that album. And I have to say that my biggest inspiration was the works of Frank Zappa. And I imagined that kind of wackiness and like language that is harsh and you know, sometimes rude, but with a righteous cause from a satire point of view. So yeah, that's pretty much the idea of the band. We do not play that much, but I like when I get with those guys and we do a couple of rehearsals and then go and record some songs. Probably there will be some videos for the music in the future, but I am not going to promise anything, because you know every day is like it's very interesting, because every day something new is happening and I can't plan my week much forward, you know. So, and about the new works of the musical band, if you thought about that, we're going to see. But the plan is to start playing live very soon in all of the countries in the world, because we have listeners everywhere. We were released on YouTube by the Stone Mad of Doom, so fans of stoner music know that channel. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So it keeps you busy, along with all your acting gigs and everything else. Now Elizabeth Cooper says, welcome from the ARC fans. I was very happy to see you on screen again after seeing you in The Last Panthers and The Outpost.
Yeah, actually, I have to make a little mistake, a little correction.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
mistake. I was in The Last Panthers. They just pinned me that on IMDb.
Oh, they
And
did, huh?
yeah, they did, and I for some reason they just don't want to delete it. I tried.
You know,
I tried writing for.
I have had
several
the same problem. I had a friend of mine that he got posted on one, and he said, Michael, you do all that stuff. Can you get rid of it? I tried to get rid of it several times, and I understand totally what you mean by that. Sometimes you can't get rid of a credit.
IMDb has a really bad support because they have a lot of users, and it's with all the big companies. You know that. I mean,
yes.
Have you ever tried to reach a guy in Facebook?
Yeah.
You know, it's a nightmare. So they have to review a lot of mails that they're coming, and it's just it's not worth it, I suppose. But thank you. I'm glad you've seen me in Outpost.
Yes, Outpost. Yes, that was the one that I saw too. Luka, I'm not trying the rest of the name. I'm sorry.
We can keep it going on Luka.
I'm going to have some private tutoring sessions from you later about that.
No worries.
But coming to the ARC, did you try out for that part? Did you try out for just anything and they gave you that, or how did your process work for you with the ARC?
Yeah. So actually the first role I was doing the cast for and didn't get for the ARC was the role of a guy who cooks in the cantina. In season 1, right? There is a cook in there. And I didn't get that one. And then when the season 1 was finished and I didn't get any roles, I was hoping for some. There maybe is going to be some kind of roles in season 2. And then the cast for Ristic came, and I suppose that's when they did Avega 2. And when I did that, I was doing the self-tape here at home. And when I did that, I actually thought that I was too young to play him. Completely honest. I thought that I was a little bit young, and then I saw myself at the camera, which I recorded because I was all gray and all in black jacket, you know. I was like, okay, maybe I'm not that young as I thought I am, or maybe at least I'm not looking that young that I think I am. So yeah, actually, and then when I suppose when they choose a Vega, they pair me with him, and I think that we really go well in the same frame. There is a couple of frames where we're together, and I think that in some kind of way he got that gray hair and beard, and I'm like a lot younger than him. He is, and then it's like his little guy who is look up to him like for the last 10 years, you know. And yeah, then I understood why they took me for this role.
Well, hey, that's cool, and yeah, you had kind of an important part in that episode. I mean, it was like, pivotal.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you were just in the background and no one would remember what you did. Well,
a dream for an actor, especially a young and upcoming actor as I am, is to make the difference, you know.
Yeah.
If you can give me a role that's make a difference for the story, I'm gonna take it. It doesn't matter if it's small, if it's an episodical or just like a minute. I think it's a great honor to play something that, shifts the tide in some other way. And also, it bears a lot of responsibilities because I know that these shows have a lot of fans. I'm a sci-fi geek myself, so I know how I react to all the people entering and going from the shows I watch. So when you are a fan, you know what kind of responsibility you have to those fans, because the show is for the fans. It's not
absolutely. And on that note, let's move on, since I made Marcia do the bad thing today with pronouncing your name.
No,
let's go to Marcia with a few questions.
Of course.
Yeah, before the power
Fantastic.
goes out or something. Yes.
Well, yes. I do have a button, Marcia, that, if you say certain things, I'm going to have your power go out.
Gee, I wonder what those are.
I can't imagine what that would be.
Well, in Cycle of Violence, your episode, which is, as Michael said, is a pivotal role, there were a couple of interesting things that I saw. The interchange between you and Griff was really interesting about the Slavic. and actually, as a fan of the show, that was a really important piece of information, because we look and say, why are there so many Slavic accents, and you remember what that interchange was? That was really well done.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's a thing that I thought of it because, when you got a guy that's going to kill somebody that's so important as Laney's, in the series, and that is the first frame where I'm introduced to the audience, So I thought, okay, you have a beautiful girl that is examining you. So let us, she's from your people. Maybe you like her. Maybe, from my perspective, I'm not a bad guy. So I come to ship and I see the beautiful lady and I'm like, okay, maybe I can work something out if my captain works things out. So that was my thinking. Okay, he's going to be some kind of a seducing maniac at least. And I think that really came that maybe nobody thought at first. Okay, he's going to kill somebody. No, and that's a good shift to like give something surprising for the audience.
Yes. Yeah. So now I see that that actually added a lot of depth to your character in the amount of time that you had to bring that, because I see that you were kind of trying to push up on her, as we say in slang.
Yeah.
It didn't work, but
Ristic, you got to try.
but also as we know, you had some really important things to do later in that episode. What was, when you were thinking about what the importance of what you were about to do, and had you seen episodes of the Ark before or in preparation?
I have watched the whole season 1 before I went to shoot it when they told me that I got the part. I think that's just my responsibility to watch the series, to understand the tone of it, and since I'm a fan of a sci-fi, it's great for me. And yeah, I was thinking, like, I was talking with Hannah Espia, who directed the 9th episode, and yeah, and I was always trying to. I like playing bad guys. I mean, that's like the first thing that I have to say. I like playing bad guys because you have to find some depth in those bad guys to make them look natural, So, for example, I played Richard III at the Academy. I choose to play that, and I really struggle with it because he's so complex character, And the only straw that held me from not losing that, because I think I did a good job doing that, was always trying to keep and know what he loves, where his love comes from, and what are his most desires beyond his sickness of being like a maniac or something like that. So Ristic, for example, is not a maniac. He's a living human being who has his own ship, he's second in command. He got lives he has to take care of. And when a Vega do that, in his eyes, he made a betrayal. And in his code, it's an honorable thing to do what he did. And I know for the fans who are watching, they're following the main characters. But for me, who am coming to one episode to play that, I'm a main character. I have my own life. I have my own desires. I have my own aspirations. and I have to bring that in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And you must know what that man, what are his biggest wishes are. How he want to live his life. He's not
Mm-hmm.
seeing himself as a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that I, in some way, show that, because it was not easy for me to kill my captain.
All right. And in that short space of time, I felt that. I rewatched it for the third or
Well,
fourth time this morning, and I saw more depth, even more in what you were trying to bring, and your eyes also were very very important in that episode. The way you were watching, and you could see the conflict in what you felt that what you needed to do.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It means a
you.
lot to me. Thank you.
Mhm.
yeah, let's go to Jag, and then I've got some questions in the chat room.
Well, I mean, how can I not like an actor that has the same headphone set than I do? So, yes, way to go.
Good
We're-
commercial for Razer.
Yeah, very good, very good. We should do commercial, you and me here. So my just real take on the episode, I loved the character because you could see that sense of patriotism or that devotion to his cause or the cause of the EF. And I think, as Marcia alluded, that you played that very well and conveyed that very well in the 5 minutes that you had on screen. Right until the very moment that you did the backstabbing to a Captain of Vega, I already knew you were going to probably, not you, but your character was probably not going to like what Vega had done. And because you had already conveyed that on screen as somebody that devotes itself to the, to the EF, to the Eastern Federation. By the way, you got to be very careful when you do Eastern Federation, because if you forget the N in Eastern, it becomes Easter Federation. And now you see a ship full of bunnies. So
Yeah.
I just wanted
And he
to
did
be
it.
and I did that one time. So you got to be very careful. But what I really wanted to ask you was, how was it when you read that on the script that you were going to kill a Vega, in terms of the physicality, the stunt? How did you prepare? Yeah, the stunt for it. How did you prepare for something like that, or had you had prior experience doing that?
Well, I have some prior experience in like fights, but when you need to do that kind of scene on any movie or TV show, you're always handed to the professionals. So they're going to teach you everything you need to know. And I met a wonderful guys here in Serbia who are doing that, and they were just top-notch professional, like showing us every move, even recording the scene for us, making one day rehearsal, and then shooting in the next day. So it was like prepared from the first second to the 20th. I mean, when it starts happening, it's like really fast. It's bam, 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 bam. But then you do it from 25 angles.
Oh,
And
yeah.
And Hannah is a very like I don't know how you say that word, but okay, it's she's very dedicated to her job. She likes doing a lot of takes and a lot of frames, and I like about the directors. I think that is the only way possible to get the perfect shot. So we did that the whole day. I think the whole day went for that. Maybe we had something in the morning, and then like for 8 straight hours we recorded the fight scene. I think I did it like 70 times.
Wow.
And yeah, it's really amazing but tomorrow you wake up in pain, because as much as you are pretending to do something, you're getting beaten a little, or you're beating somebody, and it can be really dangerous, because we even used the real knife in a couple of those shots where the knife is in. So yeah, it was pretty interesting for me. I had some sword fighting in Outpost, but when you do the sword fighting, I mean, it's a little bit easier because the blade is not that close to the skin, and we were in a knight armor, But when you do it like this, Lane is in a like compression shirt, and I was I thought I think I was wearing just some kind of jacket. No, so it can be really tough, but it's really interesting.
Good. And we've asked this on the other sets. I'm sorry, the other guests that have come on, whether they're the first time they've been on the set of the actual arc. This is a pretty big practical set for the most part. Yes, it's got green screen and it's got a few other things, but for the most part, it's a pretty full out ship. So I'm going to steal one of Michael's questions and say, did you get lost in the ship? And did you have a hard time trying to, figure out where you were going? And sorry, Michael.
Yeah, you're not sorry.
Like I did, okay, but just once. Just once, and that was in between the scenes when I had lunch, and then you have like 15-20 minutes, to chill out, because when you're on a set, you're in a green room hanging out with other actors, just chilling, preparing for a scene. But then when you have time, you stroll a bit around, and then I saw some walls just moving and changing the rooms I was in. So I was like, okay, I think I better go the same way I came from, but there isn't the same way. So it was pretty fun, yeah. And it's amazing thing what the guys did here. Really amazing. It is big hangars, parts of the ship, one next to another. Really amazing to be on a set. Really amazing.
Good. All right, I'll take it back to Michael. Sorry, Michael.
No, yeah, I figured you'd take my fun one. Okay, some of these are going to be questions that I probably can't pronounce everything. So this is what Marcia, you didn't have to do this, Marcia. So this is from Luka. Is this a friend of yours?
Yeah, he's actually my neighbor.
He's your neighbor.
Oh,
yeah,
neighbor.
I am very proud of my big home friend Luka for achieving this much. Wish you to fulfill all your dreams, mate.
Thank you, mate. Thanks so much. Yeah, Luka is an amazing guy.
Yeah, and then
we actually go to the gym together. So yeah.
Oh, do you? Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Well, other Luka, make sure he doesn't have a knife when he goes to Yes. Okay. Arc 54. If you're a sci-fi geek, what do you enjoy? Star Trek, Star Wars, something else, many more, whatever.
Many more, and that, of course. I was the biggest. I'm a biggest fan of Star Wars. I grew up with Star Wars, and the old figurines I have are from the Star Wars. Oh, okay. Maybe I can show you.
Oh yeah, look at this. Just me like this. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I have a lot of those things in my home. But actually, I started watching Star Trek, and I somehow made it my life achievement to watch everything Star Trek in order of the release. I am currently at Next Generation Season 5, Episode 3. I'm like watching the one episode or two episodes a week. Whenever I have time, I watch Star Trek. I watch every episode from the original series. It took me 4 years to do that. It's a really slow-paced series, And then I watched even the very bad animated series. I'm sorry if there's some fans who are going to get offended, but it's very bad. I mean, there are a couple of episodes that's good. I of course watched the Game of Thrones. I don't know what else now comes to mind, but I love sci-fi movies also. I have like one good sci-fi movie for maybe people are not seeing it, but actually sci-fi geeks know it. The Event Horizon with Sam Neill. It's like,
oh yeah,
it's like one of my favorites. I think it's an underrated movie.
Yeah,
I like the premise of that movie. Sam Neill made a great job. Great job. And actually, I'm a great fan of Sam Neill because when I was a child, I watched him in a TV movie, Merlin. Yeah. I don't know if you watched that one. It was a really low budgety, but it was just so amazing for me. I mean, I always had just two wishes, for my acting, to go to space and to be a knight. And I did that in my first two roles, so I now need to retire or keep doing that.
or set some more goals.
Yeah.
I have more goals now, of course. No. But that was child's wish.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another one. I'm a big fan of Luka Jovanovic.
Jovanovic.
Thank you. Yeah, but the rest of it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I don't know about the rest of it.
Yeah, see there. He is from Pančevo.
It's Pančevo. It's my hometown. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just like
Glogovac. Yeah, he was one of the best actors in Serbia ever.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So I do not know who that is. Hope that he will be the new one. Luka is just so possible. Good, humble, and good-looking guy. He rides Cabrillo.
What's a Cabrillo?
It's a car without the roof.
Okay.
A convertible.
Yeah, yeah, convertible. Yeah.
Oh, okay, convertible. He is so good. So
yeah, thank you so for the kind words. Yeah, this is somebody who knows me also.
Yeah, well, I think
very good.
That.
I would hope so.
They ride a convertible,
or somebody that's watching you all the time.
There's somebody want to step.
No. You got yourself covered on that one.
Okay, and this question is from Elizabeth Bowman. I guess she couldn't do it. Something was wrong with her internet or whatever. I imagine you had one of the hardest guest roles this season, at least emotionally speaking. Just appear for one episode and kill off a lead character. Wonder how the rest of the cast reacted to you. Was it challenging to not take it personally?
Well, they thought that that somebody then is going to kill me off when I kill him, and they're like, "You're not dead. How is this possible? You're not going to die in this episode. You're killed late. You have to suffer. You have to suffer in this episode. So yeah, it's just fun. I mean, the cast really received me very well. I had such a great time shooting it, and it was interesting because I was the only Serbian guy. First day we shot the some scenes because there was. Reese, Richard,
Fleischman,
the Awega, and I mean Daniel and
Diana.
Yeah. So it was an amazing experience. Just doing with those actors that are doing such a good job and are more experienced than me. I mean, Daniel just got from the Game of Thrones set, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be with someone who is going to be on Game of Thrones, so he must be a big thing, he must know a lot of stuff, Please let me teach me, So yeah.
Oh, and he can guest pinch co-host really well too.
Yeah,
Really?
I couldn't make it the last time for a show. In the last 5-10 minutes, Michael reached out to a Vega or Daniel, and he took my place.
He took his place as a
that.
co-host
for the whole show.
for the whole show.
So
Nice,
it was nice knowing you, Luka. I'm no longer on this show. I've been fired.
We had a great time. But we missed
I'm
you
sure
too.
you did. I'm sure you did. But just remember,
crazy.
it took an actor to replace me. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know. We had to get an actor from House of the Dragon to replace you. Yeah, it was just so much fun. Okay, the last Arc 54 made a comment about what you're talking about, Event Horizon. Yes, Sam did an amazing job in Event Horizon.
The one thing I got to just make a comment on it was a great movie. It was just a little bit gory. I remember it being just a tad realistically gory.
It was actually
It took a turn.
For 1990s. It's like 1995 if I'm not wrong. Mm-hmm. And when I watch on television, I always watch it before the Oz series from the HBO and after the Oz series from the HBO, because the Oz made something that I think that's one of the greatest show ever. I mean, it's off topic totally. It's a story in the prison, but I think it's one of the best ever recorded on television. And it made the biggest revolution, And Event Horizon came before that. I mean, it's a movie, it's a different thing, but it was a really, really gory thing for 1995. Yeah, correct me if I am wrong in yours. So,
no, I'm just saying. I just remember it was a great movie. I liked it, but there was just some in that movie. There was just some really if you're not prepared for it, and some of it was kind of realistic when the guy was in space and he lost the suit.
Yeah.
I mean, that was some really good. Whoever did the makeup effect, I need to check that out. They did some great practical visual
Yeah.
effects on that, for that. So anyway, back to Michael. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I'm going to go ahead to Marcia
Mhm.
because I have a question, but I think it's going to be a long one, so I'm going to do it on the next.
Oh,
round.
gee. So, another interchange that you had was between you and Ian, where you kind of had some tension there going early, and that was fun to see. Um, that your character, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because as Vega says in the scene, the Eastern Federation has disapproved of clones for a long time, and for me, he's not what he is for the other guys who are used to those clones. I mean, as I remember in season one, they're not used to clones. I mean, they're
No.
like, okay, if this guy is a clone, I don't want this guy to be a clone,
Mhm.
but we have a little bit like maybe tougher look on that. And I mean, it's a cool premise because you have the Eastern Federation, which represents the eastern part of the world, and you have the original arc that is representing the Western ideologies of the world, and you can make a parallel to the existing world.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's an interesting take on something that can actually maybe come true in future. I mean, I personally think that we as a society live in the future. We are not aware of that every day because it's happening now, but I was not raised as the kids are raised now, or you also. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing to put on a screen, and it needs to be spoken of more and more, and it's going to be spoken more and more as the AI progresses to something that is probably going to be a perfect form in maybe 10, 20, 100 years. Now it's just a matter of time. It's not the matter if it's going to happen. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's an interesting theme, and the Battlestar Galactica, one of the
Oh yeah.
best shows, show that in a completely new way. That is one more series from the SyFy
Mhm.
geek.
We'll have to see if you
I
want
have
to
to
join
say,
Really?
us when we do our. We just finished the review of the
yes.
original Battlestar, and
Never
it's.
watched the original. Watch
I know,
the.
but now we're going to start the new one.
You never watched it?
No, we did. No, we
Oh,
did. But we're
yeah.
going to restart to rewatch the new one.
You're going to
And,
find so many things that are like
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Mhm.
they're happening right now.
It's
Yes,
so
they
funny,
are.
when I watch science fiction, or when I think about today, and some of the choices that were being made. This is my little soapbox, and I think, didn't you all watch Terminator? Didn't you watch all this stuff? Did you not think that these things are going to happen? But that's humanity. We have to do what we have to do, and we have to discover and explore and all that kind of stuff. And
I
sometimes,
don't. I think that we're trying to make our lives easier
mm-hmm,
every day, but
mm-hmm,
I think that the biggest problem that is happening with that we are trying to make everything easier is that we are slowly losing pieces of humanity, along the way. And we're starting to be some shallow forms of humans. We have all those devices doing this. I mean, I'm in Pancho, you're in Florida. I mean,
mm-hmm.
that is just the pinch of it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and all of those sci-fi movies and books that were written were actually in some kind of a warning. They
Mm-hmm.
all bear a big revelation at the end, like if you were careful you shouldn't do this. you know but then they gave us the ideas and then
Right.
humans tried those in practical terms,
Mm-hmm.
and we are off the leash. We
Mm-hmm.
now can't be stopped,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just what it is. We just need to find the best way to handle that, and to every day remember ourselves, okay, we're humans, we like warmth of the sun on our skin. We liked, you know, a breath of fresh air. We can't breathe from the fabrics. We can't live in a metal. We need nature to continue.
Mm-hmm. And thinking about that contrast with the Arc 15 is full of nice furniture and comfy things, and Arc 1 is more stark. So some things about Arc 15 I really feel more comfortable with as a human. The art on the wall, as you were saying.
I think that's another clever way of from the writers.
Mm-hmm.
They did that old tradition, new tradition, Eastern, Western thing,
Mm-hmm.
So in some kind of way,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not that, but I think I read it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
And one thing you mentioned, the knife that you used to stab a Vega. And did I hear you say that one was real? That there was a real? Was it sharp or was it a real prop?
No, it
Because
was a
it
real
looked
knife.
fierce. I mean, it was a real knife.
Where you see the knife in the frame, it's a real knife.
Mm-hmm.
And of course you have an option not to do that scene. It can be done by a professional. But it's not fun if it's done by a professional. It's not fun if you can get hurt, in the middle of recording, cut off your arm or something like that, or stab somebody else. But yeah.
Even Horizon 2.
Even Horizon 2, starring Ristic, stabbing everybody on a set with a real knife. Yeah. It's going to be a bloody season 2. Yeah.
Well, is it a traditional knife, or was it a knife that you've seen before, or
no? I never
created it.
I never.
Okay.
They created it because we have a great prop guys here.
Okay.
When I was doing the Outpost, the same prop guy made like a rat in a cage.
Oh yeah, I love the Ark. I remember that.
You remember that, yeah?
Oh yes.
So yeah, so we have the rat that could check like if somebody is infected with the virus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was very fun because I was the one of the guards who was holding that. He had a small storyline, and I was like holding that, and then the guy from back is like moving the rat, and the rat looks like he's all rabid on the cage. If somebody's infected. And here he made the tablets that they're bringing. He made the knife go into the tablet and then go out, right? Like the piece of the blade is inside the tablet, and then I have the handle of the tablet, which is also a handle of a knife. And it was amazingly done. And I was using a rubber one for all the scenes I have. But then it came the scene that there should be it was a knife's 5 minutes of glory. So we had to use the real one. And as I said, I had the option to use a professional man who is doing that every day. But I choose like okay, let's try it. Let's be fun.
If I kill somebody, oh well. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's terrific. Terrific. Thank you for that. Okay, back to Michael.
Yeah, Jag.
So you have some very profound ideas and thoughts based on what you just discussed, and I wanted to hear. You may not know the answer because you just read the script or you just saw the episodes of season 1, and maybe you can explain a little bit more as to why the second in command felt the way he did in the EF. And here's where I'm going with this. And I was talking to Michael this about the other day. If a Vega was so much about peace in trying to keep the humankind the way it was, peaceful kind of thing, why did the ship have 20 billion cannons and weapons on it? If you're really about trying to find peace in the world or in the galaxy, why would you fortify your ship with so many weapons? And so if you had any, incredible thoughts on that yourself based on an actor or your character.
Why does the most powerful countries in the world have atomic weapons?
Yeah. To protect themselves, potentially.
Yeah. And eventually.
Yeah.
And probably. So
yeah.
I mean, It's politics. I would rather not get into it. I mean, we can
No,
talk
no,
about the
no.
politics of the.
This will never get into politics. I was just curious from your point of view, coming from a person from the EF in
Well,
that
from my
character.
point of view, I think that is the parallel.
Yeah,
I think that everything we do, all the writers that are writing something, they're making the parallels with something that is happening in the real world. You know,
Mm.
everything that was ever written, ever
Right.
filmed, or it was a parallel or a metaphor for something that's happening in the world.
Right.
So I think that, of course, I can talk from my perspective of the character. It's to keep peace,
Yeah.
It's to not get hurt, because you're in space floating, probably never going to hit anything. And then you have those other people who are floating, and you don't know if they're going to kill you. So you
Right.
have to be tough, I mean, it's a little bit tough to speak about that perception when we live in peaceful times,
Right.
when we're handed everything every day. But if
Right.
you try to imagine that, like, wouldn't you like to be armed
Yeah.
in that situation?
No, I get it. And that was just one. And then the other two is when you were reading the script and as you were developing your character, at any point did you, as in your character, know or figured out that Avega would do what he did? Or did you feel that he was just going to be the same person you thought he was going to be on the ship?
All of the time while we were preparing to that scene where I see him that he really accept that, I think that he is going to get himself together because he knows he has those people back, and that it is the responsible and a mature thing to do. But then he may deal because he thinks that's the responsible and a mature thing to do,
Right.
but totally different from my character point of view. And then I just had to do it,
Right.
It was like, okay, if this is how we're going to play, then this is how it's going to be. I have to do this to save other lives. It's better to lose one life than to lose 1,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. So if it was reversed, this is my final question for this moment. If it was reversed and you were the captain and not Avega, what would you have done in this situation?
Well, I would probably made a deal, but it's an assumption that I can't make because those people don't know the people on Arc 1,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you watch them on the show, and when you watch them on the show, they're good guys. But if you get into a character and he's getting into a ship for the first time and seeing them for the first time, it's about the eyes, like everything in life. When you meet somebody, it's that first impulse. If the first impulse, first wave of energy is positive, you're going to be good with somebody 99% of the time. If it's negative, you're going to get away, or you're going to be rude, or he's going to be rude to you. So it's like that. I mean, believing actually works like that.
Right.
You have to feel somebody and to feel he have a good intention, so you can believe him, right?
Right.
It's an assumption every time. Every time in life, we do anything in life.
Right. Man, I'm impressed with you, sir. And back to Michael.
Thank you.
Okay. This is a question we were talking about it when we first were talking, right after, and you said you took this last name from an ancestor, and you said there was a story behind it, and I said that we would let you tell that story because it sounded interesting.
Yeah, actually, it really means a lot for me, and thank you for saying that. I didn't think that you're going to mention that.
No, I do what I usually say, but not to Jag, though.
Okay.
Marsha, maybe, but
yeah, for Marsha, maybe.
yeah.
So, actually, my last name was Jovanovic for my first 26 years of my life, and it's the last name my father bears and my grandfather bared. But it wasn't the last name that my great grandfather bared. He was Dzivdzanovski only, and he was living in Macedonia, and he was schooled in Istanbul by some Turkish people because there were hard times. Somebody killed his family, took him to Turkey, got him to school. Then he came back, made everything he had made, 11 children. One of them was my granddad. And then my granddad came here to Serbia. Then it was all Serbia. So then he came to Pančevo. And for some reason, he got the name Jovanović in the army. They just written it. So the half of the family tree stayed Jovanović and the half stayed Dživdžanovski. And when he finished acting, my grandfather died and left the piece of the grave of that surname, like just Dživdža, like a nickname from Dživdžanovski. And I never thought about that because I never speaking to him. It actually meant much to him. And then I thought about unifying those two last names. And I didn't want to bear just one name, but I didn't want to lose that one because my father bared it all the time and bears it still. So I want to take both and just add Dživdžanovski, and that's how I did it. For some reason, for honoring my grandfather and my great grandfather, who actually made the whole possible tree, because I don't know who his parents were because they were killed when he was like 5. So I didn't want for my branch to lose that, because probably my children wouldn't remember that because they wouldn't know about that, And I'm a history freak also. I like knowing things, and I like to. I think that it's very important for every human being on this earth to know his heritage,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, because we are who we are, We bear that blood in ourselves. I know we're all brothers and sisters. It's not the problem of that, but it's good to know who you are, because then you have the upper hand in knowing yourself and standing a lot more to the ground. You're not delusioning yourself, and you do not need to be ashamed of anything. There are a lot of people ashamed of their heritage. There were a lot of times where you should be, ashamed of your heritage, or you can get hurt because of that. And I think that's just one of the biggest problems with the world, actually. And I don't want to do that. I want to say proudly who I am and where I come from. And then you ask me, why is this ich and why is this ski? It's a little bit different. It's a a bit different in Macedonia, but they're the same people.
Oh, that is cool. That is cool. I know you did want to say that. I'm glad I remembered.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much.
Sometimes I forget things, but then every time I saw that name, it reminded me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't
it's
pronounce
so long,
it.
It's so long. You can't
and I
ignore
can't
it.
pronounce it. And
you can't ignore it.
you can't ignore it. And I'm so happy that Marcia did her good attempt. I would not have done anywhere near what Marcia did. So
yeah, I went to Google Translate and it went, what? No.
No, actually, Dživdžan is a bird, a sparrow.
A sparrow?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And how do you say it again, real slow? Your last
Dživdžan.
Dživdžan.
It's a bird. It's like kind of a sparrow. Yeah.
And then you said I keep calling them Ristic, but you called them something else. What is your character?
I call it Ristic. It's just a little bit harsher. Yeah. Because we have ch. You don't have those letters.
we don't have that now.
Yeah. You have it in some.
If you spell it differently. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you spell it, if you say like CH,
Right.
yes, that's ch. So, but we have a little bit tougher, like ch, j, all of those letters. They're a nightmare for you. I'm not going to bother you with those ones.
No, this is learning with Luka. This is what this is today. So, yeah, I'm enjoying this. real quick before I'm going to forget this, how did you learn your English? It's actually pretty good.
Thank you so much. It means really a lot to me, and I'm trying to learn it every day, at least a bit more. Actually, from Cartoon Network, I started there and just went for it.
Oh, well, that's the best place to go.
Yeah, that's the best place. Watching, watching Dexter, watching I don't know what was Ed, Ed and Eddie was there. And, no, that was on Nickelodeon, but a lot of cartoons uh, taught me that. Then later games, of course, because I'm a big game freak. I mean, video games freak. And then I started talking it, and then I started doing it for money. And then we started doing it for money. I was like, okay, and then now let's work on it more and more. And now I have like a couple of days in a week. I take books and read them out loud. I like to read it out loud because I think that then my accent is going to get better and better in time. So, you know, it's not a problem when you're learning the text for the shooting or for something like that. It's like you repeat it so much that it just becomes easy. But like now when I'm you know saying for the first time every sentence I'm saying and making them in the process, sometimes it can get a bit tough. But yeah, video
Well,
games and cartoon.
well, I was going to say, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great. It
Thank you.
sounds great. Sounds better than my English sometimes. So
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, you mentioned earlier, I don't know if we did it in live or before, you said you were mostly self-taught. It obviously works for you. So
Yeah,
keep
for
doing
the
it.
guitar and for
For the
yeah,
guitar
yeah,
or anything, pretty
for the
much. If you're interested in doing something and you have the passion for it, but you may not have the funds or the formal education route to take, self-taught's the next
I don't know.
best thing.
You know what? You know what? Today, none of us have any credit for the like. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I don't know how to do that. You have the freaking internet. You have all the tutorials you can have for I don't know anything. You can make you can grow your mushrooms at home. You can make the perfect omelet with no fat in it. You can make veggie
You had to
burgers
bring
with,
food up, didn't you, Luka? You
yeah,
had
of
to
course you
bring
have.
food up.
You know what? I am an actor because of the one sole thing. When I act and when I'm in theater or in set, I don't think about food, and the food is one of my biggest passions. So when I understood that, I was like, okay, I'm going to be an actor.
Speaking of food, was the craft good on the Ark?
Yeah, it's always.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
It's always. It was on that like production house is doing it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Always. You have like 4 or 5 wedges and
Oh wow.
yeah, everything. Like if you're a vegetarian, if you're a vegan, if you're a meat lover, if you are a fish lover, if you are I don't know what they're going to think new that you
That's
can eat.
Ristic.
Yeah.
What was your favorite food on set
Yeah.
when you forced
Well,
yourself to eat, even though you
Yeah.
were
When you
yeah, on set,
sacrifice.
on set, and every work day when I do something where I'm all from the house, out of the house, I like eating light. I like eating salads. I like eating like chicken fillet, stuff like that, because they're not messing your stomach, and it's not like a spicy burrito or something like that. I mean, then I would be so like I don't want to work. I just want to lay down. So you know,
No,
just like
I don't want to stab in. I'm too tired.
I'm too tired.
I
I'm
don't
too
know. I don't know
tired.
if I should stab this guy or barf on his skin.
Well, since we're talking about food,
Uh-oh.
now
Here we
now
go.
we really adore you. Now we want to come over your house, and you're going to invite us all over, and you're going to cook for us.
Oh, I would
So
love that. I would love that. Food here in Serbia is great. You have to come once and try it because we have all the meat you would love, all the vegetables. I mean, everything,
mm.
made in a
I
special
see.
kind of way.
I see your
So
table
what?
already with my chair back there somewhere. So
Yeah, you're here, Jack. You don't see
Well, you
yourself.
got the guitars.
Yeah.
We'll come over. You will have a music jam, and so what would you feed us? What would you make for us? Do you cook?
Well, I would probably make you some kind of a stew. That's like,
Mm,
you know,
Okay.
yeah, some kind of a stew
lovely.
probably. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Something
Something maybe
that's
spicy, maybe spicy. You know.
yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah,
shareable. You could share with a bunch of people, and
yeah. The balls are like those cooked meals, with like 100%
mm,
beef, and something like
mm,
that. And there's
mm,
paprika, there's tomato, stuff like that. Yeah.
mm. That sounds yummy.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe baked potatoes. Baked potatoes
Oh, I
in
love baked
the
Oh,
oven.
potatoes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh well, you can't make the mistake.
No. Well, I just want to let everyone know in the chat room we got about 5 more minutes. So if you've got a question for Luka, please post it in there quickly so we can get there. Marcia, you just had your last question. Just so
Well, no. I wanted to ask you about the arc. We didn't talk too much about the arc,
well, we
and
were
I
having too
love the
much fun with
arc.
the other stuff.
I love the arc, and that's where I first saw you. And
Outpost, right?
not the arc, the outpost. Thank you, the outpost.
Oh,
Thank
okay,
you,
okay.
Jag. You get a gold star. And
Thank you.
you
I
played
was like,
Strom.
how you think we didn't talk
Yeah,
about the arc? I mean, we were talking about.
about you played Strom, and you talked about being, the guard outside, and your wife came, and she was infected, and she ended up infecting you, and that was a pivotal role as well, because of you, the whole.
Yeah, yeah, and actually, that was my first professional role because it was
Ah,
in the middle of my second and the third year of studying.
mm-hmm.
And when
Oh,
I got into
really?
art, yeah, yeah, it was actually a really big thing for me in that period. I mean, it would be now too, of course, but then it was like an amazing thing. I mean, I recorded a couple of feature movies, some TV shows, played some documentary, played TV series, but never was on such a big set as the Outpost was.
Mm-hmm.
Playing in a sci-fi medieval fantasy series.
Fantasy,
Mhm.
yeah.
It was like a dream come true. You're going to wear knight armor, you're going to have your sword, you're going to, do everything you imagined as a kid. And then they gave me like a pivotal role, as you said, because I let all those people infected
Yeah.
into the town and make the problem for next 3 episodes, and then get killed in the next one, you know.
Mhm.
And then it was not my problem anymore. So, it was an amazing thing. Like
Mhm.
having the first role being that
That's
on
pretty cool.
one of the biggest like productions you can shoot here in Serbia. It was a dream come true. And the
Yeah.
cast was also nice. I was uh, made very good friends with Jake Stormont, who played the lead character.
Mhm.
We kept in touch because when I came to the set, he was like playing the Nintendo Switch, and he was doing some quests on Witcher 3, and Witcher 3 is my favorite game ever. And he was like, "Oh, you're playing Witcher 3?" Okay, yeah, I'm struggling. I don't know how to be this Griffin, or I don't know what. Oh, well, you have to use the old concoction and that one, drink that potion, and you're going to be strong. And he did. Cool. Okay, we're going to be friends now. So yeah, it was
Fantastic.
an amazing experience altogether.
Yeah. Thank you. You did a great role. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jag, got a last question or something worse?
So this is going to be tough because I was going back and forth on this one, Luka. So in our previous guests, we've been asked because they're usually from the GSA, the arcs. We ask what's their favorite. What would if they were able to get their own arc? What number, letter, symbol would we would put on the arc? And then some would say their favorite you know, football player, the letter, the number of that, or Reese, the one you killed, wanted the McDonald's logo on his arc and everything else. But you are not from the GSA, or Ristic is not from the GSA, so it does not make any sense for me to ask what would you or Ristic like on the arc, because that would essentially, in Ristic's point of view, be talking to the devil because he's so Eastern Federation. However, Eastern Federation does have a ship. And if I remember correctly, Eastern Federation has a little area where it does say EF with a little symbol there. If you were able to remove that if you wanted to, what would you put in place of that? As
My,
you or Ristic or both?
my dog.
Ah,
Aww.
Because she has a silly face, and then nobody would like be okay. They're not us.
your
Because
dog.
she had that,
So you have all the weapons, but you have a cute
That
dog.
is
yeah, you have a cute
hysterical.
dog.
So
And then we
everybody
just-
ignores all the weapons
Yeah.
because
And
they're all looking at the dog.
what is the name of your cute dog?
it's an interesting story actually. It's an Ljubosava, because
Ljubosava.
she's from a place called Kosovo, and then I say Ljubosava from Kosovo, and it's rhyme for me. And but Ljubica, or lovely, you could maybe translate it to English, would be, yeah, she likes kissing people.
Ah, we
And
love dogs. We love dogs.
Ljubica, it's like a kiss. Yeah, yeah. She's a big
That'd
dog.
be-
She has
Can
40
you
kilos.
imagine? You're on the Ark and you come out, Eastern Federation. They're about to arm their weapons, and you see this little dog on the side of the
Yeah. I would always go to other genre, like an absurd, totally absurd.
Oh, and then finally, you said you're into games. Did you know Diana does voiceover and motion
We-
capture?
We were
Did
Yeah, no. I didn't know about that. And then we were sitting on a set because we had just that a single moment. I mean, we didn't have
Yeah.
a frame together. She was just holding me, but we were waiting in the green room, and we were talking because she has a very interesting heritage too. And we were talking about that. I was curious. I was like, okay, you're a curious looking girl. I need to know where you're from.
Yeah.
but where are you from? Way back.
Yeah.
And then she started talking, and she really knew that much. I was really interested. And then when we were going back home, and she just mentioned, like, I was just doing the voiceover for Baldur's Gate. I was, which Baldur's Gate? Third Baldur's Gate? You're that character, like. And I was like, boom. And then she started throwing those games she did. And I was like,
She's done a
oh,
lot.
man, you're
Yeah.
such a star for me. It's a great honor to meet
Yeah.
you. I mean, you're the biggest star here, for me, in my eyes, at least, you're the biggest star here, So, yeah, I was really, really amazed. That's the problem with voice actor. You never know what they look like.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
But
Yeah.
she did amazing.
I had to ask that because I said, if you're such a big gamer, did you get a chance to talk to Diana? So I'm glad
Yeah.
you did. I can
Yeah.
sleep now, knowing
Yeah.
that you
Yeah, good,
did.
good.
Anyway, back to Michael.
Okay, I got two little comments in the chat room. Luka's mad at you, I guess. When will you be back? So busy. When he went to the set for the Ark, he was like, I'll be back. So I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, I never had a chance to be back, actually.
Yeah, you're a busy guy. And then Sparky24, the best young actor you can find in Serbia right now. Believe me.
Okay, Sparky, I believe you. If you say so. I wouldn't say, but okay.
Yeah, but
Thank you,
Sparky
thank you
knows.
much.
Sparky knows. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sparky knows.
that's all.
Sparky
That
always knows.
Yes. And Luka, I would like to again thank you so much for coming on. And if you've got any other projects that you're doing besides the Ark or anything else in the future, I mean, you're welcome to come back. You're a part of our family now.
Thank
we
you so
like
much
to-
for having
We
me.
like to find out what some of the previous Ark people are doing. We're getting ready as soon as we finish all the Ark interviews. We're going to have some of the people that were on the Ark that got killed off in season 1. And find out what they've been up to since the Ark. So
Of
we're
course,
very
of course.
excited about that.
I really had a blast talking with you guys and answering all of the questions. It was really fun for me, and thank you so much for having me on the show. You can call me anytime, and I'll be here to share my experiences with acting or with life or with food or whatever you would like.
Yeah, we'll
Bunch of fun guys.
Thank you so
and-
much.
we'll stick with this, but when we go off, and then we can close out ourselves when we're off camera. But everyone, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We had the assassin on today. We have his victim.
Oh, look,
on
do that
Sunday.
again. That was cool.
Oh,
Do
that was
again.
cool. Yeah, do it
Yeah,
again.
do that again.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. We have his victim on. Daniel Fathers will be on at, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, noon Pacific, 2 p.m. JAG time, because he likes me to say his time zone. And in Serbia, that would be 9 p.m. And in the UK, that's 8 p.m. So everyone, thank you all for coming, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.